of TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
This is Dr. Bill Byers, and I'm excited to announce the expansion of my Stealth Wellness business. Not only do I do functional medicine testing, blood work, and nutrition, but I've added red light therapy and sauna therapy to benefit those of Central Illinois. To learn more, click on my banner ad at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome into our final segment of the WTIM Morning Show. This time is a great one to tune into our live stream. We have Wednesday, the alligator, in studio with us right now. Of course, it's Scoville Zoo with us today. We have director Heather Perdue, and we have the reptile keeper, Ryan Kirkland, in studio. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. To see the live stream, go to Facebook to TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or YouTube on WTIM TV. Heather, Ryan, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So we also have Wednesday, the alligator, in studio. And we spoke with Ken Fry last year. We're thinking this might be the same alligator, and this alligator was able to just lay on the table very easily. This thing has grown quite a bit here. Talk to me about this alligator. What do we need to know about Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday probably did come last year. They do grow, obviously, pretty quickly. Yeah. So Ryan was kind of giving us some little alligator facts just a few minutes ago, but they can grow in optimal conditions about a foot a year. Okay. So you can see that she has grown quite a bit. We also have another alligator, her roommate Pugsley, back at the zoo still. And then we also have our large alligators on exhibit, which people are more familiar with, probably G and L. Okay. So
G and L, I love it. Yeah. Ryan, we had some tough time getting Wednesday out of the cage right there. It's tough travel for the gator. Well, what do you have to say about just holding it right now and interacting with these types of animals? This is a really cool thing.
They're my personal favorite animal. I love doing anything with them I can, but I mean, it's challenging. They could definitely deliver a gnarly bite if they wanted to, but they're just cool animals.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there, but you said it. Even an alligator that size, it can do some damage. We're talking losing fingers, something like that.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is it even learned like the death roll yet in this stage? Is that so evolutionary? It'll get into that.
Yeah, that's just instinctual. They know that from the second they pop out of their egg.
My goodness. Okay, so and the rate at which they grow is very fascinating to me. What's about the largest we'll see alligators on average? How big do they get?
The world record was caught, I think, like 3 or 4 years ago in Texas, of course, of all places. And it was a 23-foot long American alligator.
23 feet long, and that's the world's largest size.
Yeah,
if we're seeing them out in the wild, what commonly do we see?
A normal sized adult American alligator would be around 11 to 12 feet.
My God, 3 times the size for that one in Texas. Kind of weird to find it in Texas. No, not really. I don't think of it as swampy. We find alligators in Texas commonly.
There's a chunk of Texas where they're native to. There's
And they always say they grow them big in Texas, right?
Of course, everything's bigger over there. 23 feet. I don't want to come across that guy right there. But that is really awesome. I mean, how do we source at Scoville Zoo alligators, and what are the oldest ones that we currently have?
We have G and L. G is 41. And he's, like I said, they're probably the ones that people are most familiar with when they come to the zoo. We've had both of them since they were small. And so like right now we are fundraising for a new exhibit, and it's mainly just because they're just kind of outgrowing that exhibit. Even though they're still growing, it's a lot slower pace, but they are still growing, maybe up to an inch a year. And so it's just time for them to get a new space with a new building and everything for them. And these guys, we do use them a lot for programs, the smaller ones. Right now they've been on exhibit in our herp aquarium. However, we're going to be changing that space here soon. And obviously these guys are getting kind of big for us to handle. So the 2 younger ones are actually on loan to us from a place in Florida called Gatorland. And so we will actually be sending these guys back, and they'll live the rest of their lives at Gatorland.
Wow, that is really cool. Really cool to understand where they're really coming from there. I had a funny thought earlier. You can't, when it comes to behavior, you can't just throw you can't just throw Wednesday a treat or hand him a treat. Talk to me about meal times and how often this guy eats, and you definitely can't just give him a milk bone to make him happy.
Their version of a milk bone is more like a thawed fish or a rat. But yeah, we have to use tongs to feed them. They get fed these guys, the younger ones, get fed about 3 times a week. So they don't get fed every day like a lot of people think of with mammals like dogs and cats that we take care of at home. Reptiles just don't have to eat every day, but if you let her eat as much as she wanted, she could become huge really fast. Like I said, perfect conditions, they can grow really quickly. But like I said, she gets fed about 3 times a week.
Oof. And feeding with tongs, and it's a pretty safe procedure right there. I would go along with that. I've seen videos of those gators grabbing onto the tongs and ripping them out of. Have you experienced that before, Ryan?
Oh yeah, our big male G, he's stolen tongs from me many times. He's bigger, he's stronger. You just let him take them and figure out how to get them back later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who has to go in and get the tongs after all that? That's pretty amazing.
And how often do the large ones eat?
It's since they're out and they're cold-blooded animals, their appetite is very dependent on the temperatures that are occurring at the time. So the warmer it is, the more often they'll eat. We just kind of have to gauge it by how they're acting,
sure,
and how warm it is.
Sure. I mean, these gators, do they get time outside in Central Illinois, or is your exhibits all inside?
Our adult alligators have an outdoor exhibit.
Cool.
These guys are indoors.
Sure. So how much are you thinking about during the wintertime of really keeping their exhibits to a temperature that's not going to shock any of their systems?
We still, they end up in a building that's always controlled around 75 degrees. Okay. It's still a little cooler than a normal summer for them, but that's actually a good thing. They get their natural slow down period that they would get in the wild. So they'll kind of become a little more sluggish and stop eating or eating less over the winter. So it's not 100% like nature, sure, but a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do think the South gets those lower temperatures as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And they're probably eating, growing a little bit slower. And that's part of the great reason, with the fundraising for this new exhibit, part of what we're going to be building is a building for them. Wow. So right now, when we move them indoors, our larger ones, we have to walk them into a trailer and then we just drive them around to another building. However, once they have that building there, sometimes we move them in and, our falls and winters here, we have some really nice days that come back, it gets cold and then it gets warm again. So if they had their own building, it'd be great just to open that door and give them maybe a couple days back outside,
Absolutely.
Just to get that natural sunlight and stuff. So that will be great for them.
Awesome. Excited about this new exhibit there.
Yeah, we are too. It'll be great for them.
Perfect. And this is fundraising efforts. Are we reached our goal yet? Or are we near?
We are very close to our goal. So we started, we've been fundraising for the last few Zoorifics that we have coming up. It's our annual fundraiser and some other like donations and everything. And we have one family that was matching up to $250,000 just to get us to that end point in our fundraising. And so we are almost there. We're very close. Our Zoorific is coming up and we're hoping to, kind of reach that end point during that evening.
Perfect. I want to break down Zoorific in the back half when we have a little bit more time to talk about it. And really, really great attention focus back onto the reptiles right here. That is really awesome. Last couple of minutes of our first segment here, Ryan, and a weird question I have, because I had an affinity for the show Swamp People, and it's where they took down these alligators, and it got me thinking: are alligators? I know they're native, but are they invasive? Or do they reproduce at a multiplying rate like that? Why do we have shows that kill alligators like this?
So in alligators are one of the rare success stories in conservation. They were once hunted to near extinction, but they made such a huge comeback thanks to good conservation efforts and protection that now they're overpopulated in most of their natural range. So that's why, kind of like deer up here, they started opening regulated hunting seasons to help control the populations, because there's nothing that hunts alligators in the wild. So there's nothing to keep their population under control besides each other. They do eat each other sometimes.
I was kind of familiar with that, but I did not know that the swing went totally the other way there. That is really interesting.
They're one of the great successes that conservation has had.
My goodness. And they're dinosaurs. It would have been terrible if we lost them to overhunting back in the day. I mean, do we have a date when alligators were seen? I mean, prehistoric times. Can we pull that out of the top of our heads right now?
Not off the top of my head. They are one of the species that have been found fossilized remains.
And they're great for us to use for programs. one of the reasons that we have these younger guys, kids are fascinated by the alligators. They love seeing them, but it's great to be able to get one out and we can talk about all their adaptations for living in the water. People always comment, well, the alligators don't move. Well, that's how they would be in the wild. They're kind of an ambush feeder. They wait for that fish to swim by or that deer to come drink out of the pond that they're in. And so that is part of their just natural behavior, is just to kind of sit still and kind of wait. And, we talk about how they're adapted to living in the water, like their feet and their tail and everything, and the camouflage. I mean, they're just so neat. And, you see a lot of, even memes on Facebook and stuff. Well, how do you know if there's an alligator in the water? And some of the funny ones, Louisiana, they're like, if it's wet, there's no alligator in it, so it's teaching people too, to be careful, of the natural fauna that may be in the water with you.
Absolutely. And I can see how kids easily can grasp the webbed feet and the ways that they can survive. Yeah. And the alligator exhibit at the zoo, it makes you hold your breath. Oh my gosh, the giant alligators are in front of us. Then you wait for 5 minutes. They're just acting as themselves. They're waiting, and you're not going to see too much. You don't want to show up around feeding time or something like that. They're when they're ready to attack. But this is all really awesome. Wednesday, the alligator has been very well behaved in this segment of our WTIM morning show. In studio, we have Heather Purdue, director at Scoville Zoo, and Ryan Kirkland, the reptile keeper at Scoville Zoo. You've been listening to our WTIM morning show, and we will be right back.
Your information station, WTIM.
Let's check the markets now. The RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Steady trade at this hour with corn, beans, and Chicago wheat. September corn is down a penny, 378.5. December corn down 3/4, 403.5. March corn 422, down 1 1/4. November beans down 1/4, 997. January beans up 1/4, 1015.5. March beans 1030 1/4, up 1/4. September wheat unchanged, 558 3/4. December wheat up 3, 577 1/4. March wheat up 2 3/4, 596 1/4. October bean meal 312.70, that's down 60 cents. October bean oil down 15 cents, 40.14. Livestock market, September feeders 238.72, up 1/4. October live cattle down 2 cents, 176.30. October lean hogs 78.80, up 1/4. Energy market, October crude oil 66.41, up 66 cents. I'm Jim Taylor.
Does your bank offer rewards on your qualified signature-based debit card purchases? If not, then we need to talk. Hi, my name is Jeff Grimmett with People's Bank and Trust. Join the growing number of our customers who are earning cash back on all qualified debit card purchases. You already use your debit card now. Make it work for you with Save by Spending. Rewards from People's Bank and Trust. Earning rewards is as easy as shop, sign, and save. Call 888-PBT-1954 and find out more about our Save by Spending rewards program today. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
WTIM on its many platforms, AM, FM, and online, brings you Taylorville Tornado football, boys basketball, all season long, and playoff games of all teams. Tornado sports on WTIM and stream live on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com are brought to you by
First National Bank, Advanced Eye Care, and McDonald's.
all in Taylorville.
The purple and gold are coming your way. The Taylorville Tornadoes are gonna do it today.
Hello, Panther fans. This is the voice of the Eastern Illinois University Panthers, Mike Brad, inviting all of our fans in Taylorville, Shelbyville, Effingham, and Eastern Illinois to listen for Panther football on your information station, WTIM, on its many platforms on AM, FM, and online. Hear the Panthers as they compete in the Ohio Valley Conference. Follow the Panthers this season on your information station, WTIM, on AM, FM, and online.
Computer Techniques, also known as CTI, is bringing fiber internet to local homes and businesses. For lag-free internet with speeds up to 1 gig, find out more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Cousin Bill here from Illinois Paving. Hey, Christian County and surrounding area. Let us do your paving job, whether large or small this year. Find out how we can do your paving project by clicking on the icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM. WTIM.
Welcome back into our WTIM morning show. This time all with Scoville Zoo. We have Heather Perdue in studio, the director, and Ryan Kirkland, reptile keeper. Wednesday, the alligator made it through the first segment, back in the cage for the rest of this one. But thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. Let's talk a little Scoville Zoo. Heather, you got some big events coming up, and this one right here, Zoorific. Am I saying it right? Zoorific.
Yeah, Zoorific Evening. It's our annual large fundraiser. The zoo actually will be closing to the general public that day at 3:00. And that's just for us to prepare that evening for our Zoorific. And it's always fun. We always look forward to it. Tickets are on sale, and there's still some available if anybody would like to come out that evening. And the tickets are $100. That includes some cocktails, some hors d'oeuvres, and then we have a lot of animal encounters that day or that evening. And so when people come in, we'll have some of our keepers, maybe you have the opportunity to feed a camel, or, get up close to an Aldabra tortoise, or even the little alligator maybe out for a little while to people to see up close, the Galapagos tortoise. And people just love it. They love hearing the keepers, are so passionate about the animals they take care of, and they love asking a lot of questions and learning more about the animals, because it really is, honestly, about the animals. That's why people have the interest in it. And then we also do a silent and live auction that evening, and that's always fun to see what different, items may be up for auction that evening. So it's fun.
A lot to be excited for with Zoorific Evening at Scoville Zoo. It's kind of what to expect right there. And this is all kind of to bring funds for new exhibits for reptiles.
Right. It always goes to our capital budget. And this year they're still working towards this alligator exhibit. So yes, the funds this year will still go towards the alligators.
Really, really awesome. And it's nice that the zookeepers will be out there, because Ryan, I know you're passionate about your job, and it's another opportunity for you to explain that to people. And it's just a good way for them to get familiar with all that. Ryan, this is a night you look forward to here. Again, it's another night with the animals.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's always been one of the more fun events that we get to take part of.
Very cool.
So
very cool.
Always look forward to it.
Absolutely. Zoorific Evening. Tickets are on sale now, and the date, the time for that one more time.
It's September 21st at 5:00. It is an adults only event. So you get a babysitter. It's a fun date night, to come out, and we always hope for, beautiful weather, and we have lights around the trees. It's the ambiance that evening is always fun. And it's fun to be in the zoo, in the evenings and when things are a little bit cooler.
Yeah. Unique date night as well. You'll remember that one. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Still with Scoville Zoo here. Dementia Friendly Monday. This seems like a good one. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, we do the first Monday of each month is Dementia Friendly Mondays, and from 1 to 3:00, those with dementia and their caretakers are welcome to come into the zoo for free. And we also have people from CHELP and local, just kind of letting them know of local resources that are available. And it's a way for, especially the caretakers to maybe meet other caretakers. And we always do an animal presentation at 2:00 for those individuals as well. And we have one more left. So the one coming up in October.
Awesome. What a heartwarming little program you do there. Something you've done all summer long on Mondays?
As soon as we open in April, that was our first one. So our last one will be October 7th.
Awesome.
So
okay, that's another one you can get involved with there with caretakers. Well, a lot of good opportunities, a lot of good takeaways from that day. That's awesome. And we're nearing it. Boo at the zoo. It's a big one for Scoville Zoo. What do you got?
I know it's September. We're already, I know. So I've already seen some Halloween decorations out. Of course. But as soon as Zoorific, we really gear up for Boo at the Zoo, and we'll start decorating. Cool. And tickets will go on sale. I think it was the 24th, that Tuesday, after our Zoorific.
Okay. Online, we can find those Scoville Zoo.
Yes, you can look at our website, the Park District website, or look at our Facebook page. We'll have some information there.
Awesome. All right, hit all of our big events here coming down the way for Scoville Zoo. Got about 2 minutes left in this one. We had an interesting conversation during the break. Sending it back to you here, Ryan, as we were talking more about Wednesday, the alligator, and I still wanted to give this guy treats over here. But people have alligators as pets. You described them as being trainable. And is that true in the reptile community? These are pretty trainable?
Crocodilians, so all alligators, crocodiles, caiman and gharial, they are the most intelligent reptiles. So they can learn things, they learn routines, they recognize people, and they can be trained to do different things. And like I said, they all have their own distinct personalities, so they're not all going to be as well behaved as others are, but they make horrible pets. I don't recommend it. And in Illinois, it is illegal anyways.
Yes.
But they're like I said, they are very intelligent.
My goodness.
Mhm.
And calling out to an alligator and having it come to you, it would,
Yeah.
would be quite the trip right there.
And
That
there's
is
some
pretty cool.
zoos that, depending, like Ryan's saying, the individuals, there's some that are just mellow, just like your pets at home. You have different personalities, and they are very trainable, and some just may refuse, or stubborn and won't. But then you have others that are just really used to, and that's why we try to handle these young guys, but until they get too big, and then you can see they get a little bit sassier, and it gets to the point where maybe it gets a little bit more dangerous for us to handle and bring in. We wouldn't be able to bring in G, into the studio here, although that'd be really cool.
Get a few more viewers on that one, I
Yeah.
think. But I learn a whole lot here every time with Scoville Zoo. Heather, Ryan, I really appreciate you guys coming in today.
Mhm. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
us.
Heather Purdue, director at Scoville Zoo, and Ryan Kirkland, reptile keeper, making sure Wednesday the alligator got in studio today. We're thanking him for that as well. Thanks so much to everyone tuning into our WTIM morning show. Thank you for tuning in.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5 W298 CD Shelbyville, 107.9 W300 EH Payne.